Ik somologiste tokiri oti agathos alleluia.
Oti stoneona to eleos aftu alleluia.
I'm talking about his interaction with Aisha. I've spoken about her playing with her playmates on swings. Like literally when Muhammad came to collect her, she was playing on swings with her playmates. She took her dolls with her. That doesn't sound like a woman who's reached puberty. That doesn't sound like a woman at all. It sounds like a little child, right? Would you agree with that?
No.
You wouldn't agree with that. And then we get insight from the other hadiths that show us, and you point it out, it's in brackets, but nevertheless, it still gives us insights that the playing with dolls was something that little girls were able to do, those who had not yet reached puberty. So I would like you to argue the case based on these hadiths, right? Because what you've mentioned, I could argue doesn't apply to Muhammad, because here it teaches that he had had intercourse with a prepubescent child. Like, there's nothing about the life of Aisha that I can see within these hadiths that demonstrates that she was a woman. I don't even believe that she was able to consent to her own marriage. And you also made note of it there in the hadith where it said that the silence of a woman is consent, which I disagree with. Right? And when we look at biblical examples like Rebecca, for example, which some Muslims erroneously say she was free, I'll challenge any Muslim who makes that claim. She was a mature woman. She was someone who worked. She went to the well where women gathered water and fed and watered the camels of Abraham's servant. So we see that she had a level of maturity, responsibility, right? She also consented to the marriage. Her mother and her brother said, do you want to go with this man? And she said, yes. Right? I could talk more about her, but it's not really about her. But she's a lot older than Aisha. So if you're using the argument that in the days of Aisha it was permissible, there were women that go back 1,000 years earlier than her and still were older than her when they got married. How do you explain that? I'll stop my time here.
Come on, let me see how long you got.
I'll stop here. I think I said what's necessary for now.
Yeah.
That's fine. Free. Okay, yeah. I'm all for like keeping time anyway.
You want to time me?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said Aisha played with dolls. That means she's prepubescent. No, not really, because somebody who plays with a doll or plays with PlayStation. Remember, the dolls back in the day is what you call PlayStations today. You know, the gadgets and that kind of stuff. Yeah, because they don't have it then. They don't have it back in the day. So playing dolls doesn't mean that you are prepubescent. Okay, even today. Boys and girls who are at the age of 16, 14, 15, 16. 16 is the age of consent in the UK. Hello again. How you doing? You're right. We're still talking about the same topic. You know, I spoke to Bob about it. I told him, but every time people bring up this topic, so I can't avoid it. So yeah, just because somebody's playing with a doll, it doesn't mean they are prepubescent. Even today, boys and girls age of 16, they play with dolls. The UK age of consent is 16. Okay? My sister, who's around 14 years old, still plays with dolls. Okay? Now, when it comes to pubescent, reaching puberty, yeah? Let me show you this. Oh, come on, don't do that.
Take your time. I'll give you the time.
Okay, this is okay, this is the NHS website, you see?
Yep.
You happy here? NHS website? Can you please read what it says here?
You read it for me, it's your time.
Okay, it says here, I want you to read it so that you
I don't want
you to think I'm lying. It says the average age for girls to start puberty is 11, while for boys, the average age is 12.
Yeah.
But it is perfectly normal for puberty to begin at any point between the age of 8 and 13 in girls and 9 and 14.
Okay.
This is from the NHS website.
Yeah.
So Aisha was married at the age of 9. Okay?
Married at the age of 6, consummated.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Consummated. For me, that's what matters the most.
Yeah, of course.
Because, that's what matters, yeah?
Just want to make that clear.
Yeah. So consummated at the age of 9, that must indicate that she has reached puberty. That's why the Prophet Muhammad, he waited from age 6 to age 9.
Okay.
Why do you think he waited? It's because he waited for her to develop. That's why he waited. Okay? How long have I got, bro?
You've got about another minute, so I'll give you extra time.
Yeah? Okay? So, as you can see here, signs, okay? Now, I'm not saying you can do that today in the 21st century because we live different. Later, I'll show you more hadith to show you why Muslims don't have to marry young girls anymore. But in the past, it was all over the world, in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, all over the world. The life expectancy was low. People used to die by the age of 25 to 35. That's why they used to get them married early and then have a relationship or have children before they die.
Okay.
That's the logic behind it. Okay? Yeah. But today, I'm going to repeat, because people think that I'm supporting marrying 9-year-old girls. No. In the 21st century, it's actually sick to marry a 9-year-old girl because it's not necessary. We live longer. So 18 years old or 21 is the good age for me. Any Muslim marries 9-year-old girl, I condemn them.
Okay.
I'm against it.
Okay.
That's why I say I'm against child marriage.
Okay. Okay, I hear what you're saying. I still don't think you really addressed the hadiths that I brought up, because all of these hadiths, these 4 hadiths that I was speaking about, talk about her immaturity, right? There's nothing within those hadiths that suggests that she's mature. Right? There's nothing within those hadiths that suggests that she's a woman ready for intercourse, right? And let me ask you something, let me clarify something with you just to make sure. According to Islamic tradition, did Aisha ever have any children from Muhammad?
No.
No. So this is common when children have sex before puberty. It damages their internals, that they're unable to have children. Right? The mere fact that Aisha didn't have children from Muhammad proves or supports the point that she was prepubescent at the time that she consummated the marriage with Muhammad. Right? That's something to bear in mind, right? Because that's evidence, and that's very strong evidence. Did Muhammad have kids with any other women that he was married to?
Some of them, yes.
Yeah, so Aisha, he didn't, right?
But he didn't have children with other women. Anyway, you go.
No, yeah, but that's very important because she was with him for 9 years. She was with him for 9 years and she never had children with him, right? So that's a sign that I think everyone should pay attention to say actually she was prepubescent. She wasn't ready to have to be penetrated and have penetrative sex, right? She was a child, and all the evidence that we see within that hadith points towards that. I want you to show me hadiths that demonstrate that she had that she was mature at the time, that she was ready to make love to Muhammad at the time that she consummated it with him. Everything that you've said to me, even on the NHS website, it may be the case that puberty could start at that age, but it's not finished, it hasn't reached its completion. Doesn't mean that she's ready for that. The example I gave you of Rebecca was a woman who did multiple things to demonstrate that she was a woman. And like I said, this was 1,000 years or more before Aisha even existed. Right? So even if the life expectancy was lower at the time of Muhammad, right, does that justify him having sexual relations with a 9-year-old little child? It doesn't. And apparently at the time he was in his 50s. So you have a man in his 50s who already has a number of wives, if I'm not mistaken, who takes her as a child bride and has sex with her, and she doesn't have any children from him. That all points towards her being prepubescent, not ready to engage in that into that intercourse. So I want you to respond to the hadiths that I brought up specifically. I want you to show me how Aisha was mature enough to marry Muhammad. How did she consent? Was it by her silence? I disagree with that. I mean, also, how was she ready physically, mentally, spiritually for that kind of relationship? That's what I want to understand from your Islamic sources. You can refer to the Quran, you can refer to the Hadiths. Just give me something that shows me that Aisha was ready for this to consummate the marriage with Muhammad.
Okay. I even forgot to time you.
It's fine. It's fine.
How long have you been talking?
I don't know. That's wrong. I continued from the last one.
Yeah.
That's fine.
When did I stop? Do you remember?
About 3:45, I think. So I think I went over 10 seconds.
No, it's okay.
It's fine.
Are you happy to stop now?
I'm stopping, yeah.
Happy, yeah.
But please respond to those points.
Okay, I'm responding to those points. Now, you said that there's no hadith that shows the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ married Aisha when she reached puberty. Okay, fine. But also, there's no hadith that indicates that the Prophet Muhammad SAW married Aisha prepubescent. Even though you bring that bracket, those brackets are not part of the hadith. They are not part of it, so we don't accept it. It is not part of it. If you show it to me in the original language, in the Arabic language, yeah, it's there, fine, I'll accept it. But it's not in the original language. Whoever wrote that has made a mistake or misjudgment or whatever, but it is not in the original language.
So can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
If there are tafsirs that support this, would you accept?
No, because
So if there are tafsirs that support that she was prepubescent,
Yeah.
would you accept?
no, because there are other tafsir that says that. What you mean? You mean
Anything from
you mean
the
Aisha?
Islamic scholars that they've said in the past about Aisha and her age and stuff. If there are tafsirs
Yeah.
that support my position, would you accept?
It depends because if it says.
Would you be able to
hang
check
on,
the tafsirs for me?
Hang on. It depends because if it says.
If you don't mind.
Hang on. If it says it was talking about 6 years old, then that's fine. But 9 years old, no. Because as I've shown you at the NHS even today says that. Do you agree with the NHS or not?
I agree with what's written there.
Okay,
from the best of my knowledge. I'm not a doctor.
But this is NHS though. They won't lie to people about such a
Okay,
thing.
no, okay. I'm saying it's possible that puberty could start at that age.
Okay, thank you. Good. So why do you think the Prophet waited until she reached 9 years old?
That you're asking me that
Yes,
question.
yes.
I don't know why he waited.
Come on, bro.
I don't know why he
It's
waited.
the
I don't know.
obvious-
No,
the
I'm being
obvious
genuine. I'm
reasons.
being genuine with you.
No.
What you're
Okay,
saying is
I'll
what
tell
you're
you.
saying. Let me tell you. Can I respond to that?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
just flow
Okay,
with
let's
it.
just go back
Yeah.
and forth. Yeah.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. What you're saying is based on an assumption. Right. You're assuming, right, that he waited until she was ready. Right. He could have been waiting for many reasons. Right. Even in the period that he was waiting.
Can
right.
you give me one example? Why do you think?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know what reasons.
Okay, I know the reason. The reason is she has to reach puberty. Just like the hadith I showed you, you have to wait. Remember what the hadith I showed you in the hadith? We say when you marry an orphan girl, you have to wait until they reach puberty.
Yeah.
The Prophet is advising us about that. So that itself includes him. Because yes, it does. Because to marry prepubescent girls is disgusting and it's evil. It's not acceptable in Islam. I've showed you in the tafsir, you have to marry girls and boys when they reach puberty. I've shown you in the hadith, in the tafsir. So you haven't shown me anywhere in the Islamic teachings where the Prophet married prepubescent Aisha.
Okay, let me respond, right?
Yeah.
This is interesting now. Muslims will claim, right, that Aisha was free. Sorry, Rebecca was free. But when you read a description, I'm just saying generally speaking, but when you read about her life and how she's described as a young woman, they don't pay attention to all that detail, right? So we're looking at the life to see the maturity about the person, right? When we look at Aisha's life at this time, there's nothing about her that teaches us that she's a woman.
Yeah, but
Even hold on. Even if or a young woman at that, there's nothing. You see her playing on the swings, what little girls do, right? Little children do that, right? Is your sister at 14 going out playing on the swings?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Then I would respectfully say maybe there's a bit of growing up to do there.
No, come on,
But
bro.
let me
12
no.
years old.
Let me
14 years old, of course.
But and taking her dolls with her to a man that she's just married, right? Which the hadith explains to us, and they still have it in the hadith, right? That it's something that prepubescent children would do at the time.
Can I
and I also just want to respond to the other point that you made very quickly. I already explained to you that there were some rules for Muhammad and there were some rules that weren't for him, right? Just this point really is important, right? Because you said quite a few things. There were some rules for Muhammad and there were some rules that weren't for him. For example, he was allowed to have more wives, right, than the majority of the Muslims, right, or the rest of the Muslims, right? So why should I believe that in this case then, that the rules on puberty, and I want to go to Quran 65:4 soon, right, to talk about that in a second, but the rules on puberty, right, in that hadith that you were talking about, that I had a quick glance on, like apply to him, because I don't think it applies to him, right?
Let me respond, please.
Okay.
Okay, you've made a lot of points, yeah?
I was responding to your points.
So you said that there's nowhere that indicates in the hadith that the Prophet Muhammad SAW married Aisha when she reached puberty. And I also challenged you, show me in the hadith where it says the Prophet married Aisha prepubescently. when she was prepubescent. It's not there, it doesn't exist. It's not in the Arabic language. Those brackets mentioned are not part of the hadith. So
Yeah.
I don't accept it. Muslims don't accept it, okay? Now, you said that, how do we know Aisha's reached puberty? Yeah, because the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he waited until she reached puberty, 9 years old. That's why he waited, okay?
an assumption.
Otherwise, no, but like, what other reason would the Prophet wait?
let me give you.
Please,
Okay.
let me respond. What other reason would the Prophet wait except that? Of course, that's the reason. And also, he's saying Aisha didn't have the consent. Now, when the Prophet married Aisha, Aisha's father allowed her to be married, and then later, when it was consummated, she agreed to the marriage. Now, back in the day, in the ancient times, marrying young girls was normal.
You said
because
she
of-
agreed to it.
Yes, yes.
How did she agree to it?
Because she agreed to it.
Where's the
hang on.
agreement?
There's nowhere in the hadith that says Aisha disagreed with the marriage.
But you.
Please
Wait.
let me
No,
make
this
my
is
point,
important.
bro.
Okay.
Please. Yeah. There's nowhere. Please, like, just write it down and then get like
fine.
the way I do. You see?
I thought we were having a back and forth.
Okay.
That's why. Okay.
Let me make. Okay. But if you're gonna also speak, don't take it too long.
All right.
Okay. So let me make my last point. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nowhere in the hadith that says the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he married Aisha prepubescent, and also there's nowhere in the hadith that says Aisha is not happy with the marriage. So yeah, let's just make it short then. Let's make it short.
Yeah, but so you're saying that Aisha consented to this marriage by her silence.
No, I didn't say that.
So how did she consent to the marriage?
Right.
Because I remember from what I've read about the stories, Abu Bakr questioned Muhammad when he first heard about him desiring his little child.
Yeah.
And then he ended up agreeing because who's going to say no to Muhammad, right?
He said, the reason why he disagreed at the beginning is because that's his friend. That's why he said to him. But he said to him, even though you're my friend, I can still marry your daughter in Islam.
So there was some disagreement initially.
No, Abu Bakr didn't know at the early stages of Islam, a friend can marry a friend's daughter.
Well, who was revealing that to him?
Who?
Who revealed that to him? Muhammad would have revealed that to him, right?
Yeah, Abu Bakr.
So exactly, so it's in his interest. He's revealing the revelation to...
Thank you. Jazakallah.
I'm okay, thank you.
Jazakallah.
Appreciate it.
Jazakallah. Yeah, so
He's revealing that to his
God.
friend. Well, you believe, or Abu Bakr may have believed that God was
Yeah.
revealing that to him, which was for his own interest, right? Because he benefited from that,
No,
if we
it's
may
not
say
for his
that.
interest. It's a fact that at the time, the house situation was when somebody reached puberty, they get them married. That's why the Prophet did that.
But she was, okay, but at the time of 6, she wasn't,
Yeah, but that's like an Arab culture. In the Arab culture back in the day,
Yeah.
they will get somebody married at a young age. When they reach puberty, then the person will be consent.
Okay.
Will be consent to. That's a culture thing. It's
Okay.
not like all Muslims do it.
Okay.
But today, I don't believe they do that anymore.
Okay.
Because it's not necessary anymore.
Okay.
That's a culture thing.
okay, and I want to respond to your point, right? Because we've already shown that Abu Bakr did have some resistance to it, but then a word from,
No, but he didn't know.
but then a word from Muhammad, which apparently came from Allah, convinced him otherwise.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so you can see the issue with that. The second point I want to talk about is the waiting period, right? So marries her at 6, consummates at 9. You're using that as a justification to say that he waited, right? Where there's no evidence to suggest that. So I would also argue that maybe she developed a little bit. Maybe she developed, you see what I'm saying? Like from 6 to 9, maybe he thought, maybe I can now, right?
No.
You see my point?
The family of Aisha, her mom,
I'll let you speak.
her mother, they knew she's reached puberty because they knew she was bleeding. That's why they.
Is that what it
ended
says?
marriage. No, but how?
So you're not saying what's
No,
being
but,
said
yeah,
though?
Yeah, but prepubescent is not mentioned there either. You're also going by your own.
No, I'm not going by my own. I'm literally reading what's in the text.
It's not in the text.
Why did they have it in the text?
It's not. But it's not there.
Why is it there?
The
Why did the people on Sunnah.com leave that information there?
Okay, the people.
Did you find that? Do you just
Yeah, I know about it.
ask that lady if she can get
Which one? The hadith?
Mike has the Tafsir on this Aisha stuff.
Okay, now,
If you ask her, please.
now, Timothy, do you think there's some things?
Although I think the point's been made.
Yeah. Do you think there's some things in the Bible that have been put bracket? Do you disagree with, or you agree with all of them?
No, I agree with what you're saying. There are things, I'll be fair to you, there are things that are put in brackets, right, that is not true to the text.
Thank you.
I'll be fair to you and say that.
Yeah, thank you. That's all then. That's all.
But those things put in brackets,
Yeah.
especially when it's talking from, let's say, a historical perspective, right, gives you an overview or an insight to what was happening at that time. That's important. So it helps you to understand the situation. Clearly, these people have left the brackets there because they see that is relevant to the story. It shows you that at that time, because people might question, how comes Aisha was allowed to play with the dolls? How come she was allowed to take the dolls? Wasn't that forbidden? And it's like, no, the playing with dolls was not forbidden because they were justifying her taking the dolls. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hold on a second. I wanna make sure you understand what I'm saying here. They were justifying her taking the dolls because she shouldn't have, because someone who's reached the age of puberty wouldn't be able to do that. Do you get what I'm saying? So that explanation helps explain.
So what you're saying is when Aisha married, no more dolls. She wasn't allowed to have no more dolls.
No, what I'm saying is
when the marriage was consummated, are you saying she's not allowed to have dolls?
What I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying, right? It says that the playing of dolls was forbidden, right?
Yeah, because she has not reached puberty. That's what it says there. In the brackets.
So when a Muslim is reading this in the time of just after Muhammad, right? They might be wondering, right? Or why is she taking dolls? Why is she taking dolls with her? Isn't that not permitted? So the person is giving an explanation. He said, oh, she's very young. She's a little one. So she's allowed to take these things. Just in case you think she was too mature and she was still playing with things that pertain to little girls. So that explanation was given to actually try to cover Aisha. Do you see what I'm saying? But in fact, it ended up, it ended up revealing that she was prepubescent.
No.
Yes, it. So what's the relevance? Let me ask you this question, very key question. What's the relevance then of this brackets? Why is it here? What does it do?
Okay, the brackets mentioned there. Now the person that mentioned there, it's not from the hadith. I don't know why they put it there. Maybe they thought that she hasn't reached puberty. But in Islamic understanding from Surah 4 verse 6 and the hadith I've shown you, you must marry boys and girls when they reach puberty, when they are pubescent. I've shown you from Islamic scriptures. Okay,
you're missing the point, though. Okay. You're missing the point.
Do you think Surah 4 verse 6 I showed you? Do you think it's compulsory for Muslims?
What I'm saying to you is this. Is that we were able to establish in this conversation that some rules apply to Muhammad and some rules don't apply to Muhammad. For example, him having more wives than other Muslims, right? That's a very important point because the subject that we're talking about is wives. We're talking about sexual relations.
Yeah, but the
right?
difference...
Hold on. It's on topic, right? This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. I need you to explain this passage rather than just say, oh, it's not according to the original hadith. It's giving you an insight to what was happening at the time. It's explaining why Aisha took the dolls, right? So how do you do away with this explanation? That's what I want to know, because you're completely regarding it when Sunnah.com keeps it there for us to read and learn from.
Okay, Timothy, you already conceded the brackets does not mean it's true. You already conceded that. I don't know why you keep arguing with that. Now, that's somebody's opinion. Why don't you take a look at this here where it says you have to marry girls when they reach puberty?
Okay.
Now, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu him having more wives, that's specifically mentioned in the Quran.
Okay.
For him to do that. But show me in the hadith and in the Quran where he says he has to marry prepubescent girls. That's the difference there. In the Quran, he says he can marry more than 4 wives. But in the Tafsir, for him to marry a woman, show it to me where he says he's the only one allowed to marry prepubescent girls, because it doesn't exist. So therefore, the reason why he waited for until Aisha was 9 years old is that for her, because he's waiting for her to reach puberty. As I've shown you on the NHS website, girls and boys, they reach puberty by the age of 8, 9 and above. I've shown you that, and that is scientific.
Okay.
And it says it's perfectly normal as well.
Okay. All right. So let me respond to you. Right. You're completely disregarding those brackets, right? Because it doesn't suit your belief. right? That's literally what it is, right? But the brackets are still there. I'm not
Yeah,
going to get
yeah.
so hung up on it, right? I've already explained to you that there are some rules for Muhammad, some rules that are not for Muhammad. We've clearly seen that in the life of Muhammad. But when it comes to him marrying and consummating with Aisha, the marriage with Aisha at the age of 9, you have shown me nothing to suggest that she's ready for that. You've told me you haven't. You've quoted verses, right? But we're looking at, you know what's so nice about the hadiths? Is that it actually gives you a narration. It gives you a story. It shows you what's going on at the time, right? So you can analyze and you can look and say, oh, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's taking place. You can get an insight to the mind of these people, right? Or how they were at the time, right? All of the things that are described in these hadiths that I read to you, right, indicate, prove, demonstrate that Aisha was just a little girl, right? You have shown me nothing. All you have done is assumed. All you have done is assumed that the 3-year wait from 6 to 9, is an assumption that she was ready at that time, and you're trying to support it with that Quranic verse. Now, I want to go to Quran 65:4,
Yeah.
right, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yes, I know it, yeah.
And I want to see your opinion on this, right?
Yeah.
Because this is how I understand the text. If I've misunderstood the text, let me know. But I would like to hear your opinion on it, right?
Yeah, sure.
So it reads here, and those who have despaired of the menstruation among your women, if you doubt, then their waiting period is 3 months. And the ones who not menstruated, they and those who are pregnant, their term is until they deliver their burdens, and whoever fears Allah, he will make for him of his affairs ease. So in this particular passage, it's talking about divorce, right? Right? So we agree on that, right? So then here in particular, I was reading it from the Arabic direct translation, but it will be easier for me to quote from here. The point that I want to stress here is here. If you doubt, then their period is 3 months. And also for those who have not menstruated. Now that sounds like to me, you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? But that sounds like to me that it's allowing marriage and divorce of children who have not even menstruated yet. Because those who have not menstruated, have started their period or their cycle yet, would be prepubescent. Would you agree with that?
No,
So you're, okay.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Because I've got reasons.
Okay.
Can I explain?
Yeah, I'm happy to listen.
Okay. What do you think is the first sign of puberty?
Well, there could be many signs. It could be larger breasts, wider hips.
No, what's the first sign? The first one?
Could be starting your period.
No,
What's the first sign?
breast.
I just said,
No, you said it could be breast, it could be, but for girls,
Yeah,
naturally it's breast.
okay,
Like first one is breast.
okay.
Okay? So that's a sign of, look, I don't want you to think I'm lying, yeah?
No, it's fine. I'm
No,
not disagreeing with that.
I want to show you references, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, Ezekiel 16 supports the idea that the breasts are developed.
I know Ezekiel 16,
Yeah.
but we're talking about Islamic scriptures. I'm not going to go to the Bible.
That's fine.
Because
Yeah.
I don't like that, okay? I don't like that.
Fair.
I don't like deflecting.
But it says here, those who have not menstruated.
Look, again, NHS website. I don't want you to think I'm lying. Can you look at it?
Okay. Which one? Read it for me, please.
Okay, it says here, signs of puberty include girls developing breast
Okay.
and then starting periods.
Yeah.
So breasts
And then starting periods.
Yeah. Okay.
So when it comes to the sexual intercourse, what's important? That the woman has started periods.
Yes.
That's a sign.
Yeah, but do you know there are some women there is called they have something called primary amenorrhea. Do you know what primary amenorrhea
I have
is?
no idea what that
Do
is.
you know what it means? Remember when I told Bob? Primary amenorrhea. Remember when I told Bob about it?
Yeah, you were talking about
Yeah, he knows. Anyway, let me show you what it means. It means girls or women who are fully mature, but they do not menstruate, they don't bleed.
Okay.
Let me show you.
So you're saying that Aisha was a special case, or you're talking about
No.
this in general?
I'm not talking about
Okay.
Aisha. I'm talking about this verse, yeah. I don't want you to think I'm lying. That's why I'm
Okay.
showing you. Look.
So you're saying that these women never have a menstrual period at all? They never have periods?
Are you happy with this?
Well, let me see. Is the medical amenorrhea is the medical term for the absence of a menstrual period in a woman of reproductive age. it can be categorized as either primary or secondary. Primary amenorrhea, when a person with normal growth, and second, there's more to it, but
Okay.
so
Is it-
what's the argument that you're making with this? Is that they're here. When a person with normal growth and secondary sexual characteristics has not had a period by age 15, interesting it says that, secondary amenorrhea,
No, forget. I'm talking about primary, not secondary.
Okay.
Secondary is different.
Okay.
So you can see, by the age of 15, you don't reach puberty. You don't menstruate, but you reach puberty. It says the reproduction age.
Yeah.
You see?
But has that
Reproduction
person
age.
actually reached puberty?
Yes,
But
they
she
don't
hasn't. So
menstruate.
then I would argue that they haven't reached puberty yet.
Yes, they have. It says that there. Look, what does reproduction age means?
They've reached an age where they should have been able to do these things, but they haven't done those things at that age.
Oh, come on, Timothy. What does reproduction age means?
Means the age which the body can reproduce.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, but they haven't had their period at that time.
Yes, period is different.
They haven't menstruated.
Yes, that's
the first cycle.
Menstruation is different from maturity,
Okay.
because you can still mature, as it says here, and not bleed.
So you're saying this text here in 65:4 is talking about.
Certain women who have medical conditions.
Okay, so let
Because-
me ask you this question then, right? Could it also mean, because you're applying it to this, could it also mean that those who haven't actually started the menstruation?
Okay.
Could it? It's just a yes or no.
What do you mean? Can you
Could it
clarify?
mean those? Because you're applying this who have not menstruated, right, to this medical term,
Yes.
right?
But they
could
have
it?
reached
But
puberty.
could it also mean not this medical term? Could it mean literally little girls who have not menstruated yet?
No.
Why?
This is.
You're attributing
No.
this text to that
No,
term,
no, what
which is abnormal.
No.
It's an abnormal condition.
No.
It's not a normal condition, right? So you're using an abnormal condition
Yes, it's abnormal condition. Yes.
to justify this verse.
Yes, that's what he's talking about. Abnormal condition.
Allah should warn you.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. What causes primary amenorrhea? Do you know what causes it?
No.
Do you know what causes it? Okay. It's caused by lack of enough food. Yeah. It's caused by like having too much heat, like in Arabian desert, it's heat, and not doing a lot of. It's caused by doing a lot of exercise, like somebody who's like a footballer, a female footballer, or a female runner. They don't get these things. So back in the day, it was common because they used to do a lot of physical work. Instead of using a car, they will use their feet to walk, or horses. So it comes on women too much to the point where they do not bleed. Let me show you what causes primary amenorrhea, because I don't want to think I'm lying.
No,
okay?
I'm hearing what you're saying, right? I'm not so caught up on the causes of primary and I don't even know how you pronounce it. What I'm saying is that what you've done is right.
Yeah.
You've taken this,
Yeah.
right, and you've applied it to that medical term.
Yes.
My question is very simple to you. Just a simple question. Can this also be applied to little children who haven't started menstruation yet?
If they reach puberty, yes.
But it doesn't say that here.
No.
It just says those who have not
Yes.
menstruated.
This is a medical condition.
So you're saying that this is referring to a medical condition?
Yes. Because if
Is that
you read-
supported by Tafsir? Just to double check. I just want to know if that's been supported. The old Islamic scholars, right, like Ibn Kathir, Al-Jalalain, do they say that do they support what you're saying?
They don't support it scientifically, but they don't support marrying prepubescent girls
Okay.
because they don't know science. They don't know science. That's why.
So how do they interpret this passage then?
This passage, they interpret it like, for instance, if you
Let me get the hadith. Let me get the hadith here. Sorry, the Tafsir.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, God
Take
bless
care,
you. I'll
take
see
care.
you around, yeah?
We'll have some more discussion later.
Next week.
Yeah.
We should wrap up soon, yeah?
Yeah. We'll wrap up.
Hold on,
soon.
give me a second. Let me have a.
It's here, if you want to see it. I don't
Yeah,
want
I've
to
got
take
some
up
here as well, yeah. All right. I haven't actually gone through all of these tafsirs, but let me have a look quickly. Just bear with us.
It's here, man, if you want to.
Yeah, but I want to see, there's multiple. Give me 1 second. I think I made a note of it not long ago. Just literally a second, yeah?
Next time I come, do you mind if we have a discussion about the Bible?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
No, I'll let you know.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So let me read what Abbas has said, yeah?
Yes.
And for such of your women as despair of menstruation because of old age, if you doubt about their waiting period, their period of waiting shall be 3 months. Upon which another man asked, O Messenger of Allah, what about the waiting period of those who do not have menstruation because they are too young, along with those who have it not because of young age? Their waiting period is 3 months. So it seems to be the case that Abbas is affirming my position.
No. Okay,
It says here,
why
let me
do you
see,
think
let me
it's
says
affirming
here,
your position?
if I've read it correctly, right? What about the waiting period of those who do not have menstruation because they are too young?
Yes, young. What does young means? What do you think young means?
Bro, come on, man.
No, you tell me, please. What do you understand
They're
young?
too young to have, they haven't reached the age of puberty yet to menstruate.
Okay, and what did
Bro, come on, man.
Okay,
That's being ridiculous.
what did primary amenorrhea says?
All right, here, check this out. I'll read Al-Jalalin's one, right?
Okay.
And as for those of your women who read Allah, I can't pronounce that. Read
Yeah.
or anyway, as for those of your women no longer expect to menstruate, if you have any doubts about their waiting period, their prescribed waiting period shall be 3 months. And also for those who have not yet menstruated, because of their young age, their period shall also be 3 months. Now it says young age.
Can you explain to me what does young? I know what young means. What does
In
young
the
mean?
context of this, it would be a little child who's not yet reached the age of puberty.
No, it doesn't mean that.
God bless you.
No,
God
wait,
bless you.
let me make my point. Come on. So young here, as I've shown you, it means primary amenorrhea. You saw it by the age of 15. Remember? Yeah. So somebody at the age of 13, 14, 15 can still be called young.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're prepubescent. Do you agree?
Okay.
Thank you. So when it says young there, it doesn't mean prepubescent. It just means those young girls who have medical condition. That's it.
I'll have to investigate that claim
Yes.
and a bit more. It doesn't prove your point, by the way.
No, that's okay.
It doesn't prove your point. I think
Yeah.
your point has been disproven, if I'm being honest with you. But in terms of puberty, because like you've read in the NHS website, developing breast is a sign of puberty,
First.
right? And also a period,
Yes.
menstruation, right? If a woman, or if a woman hasn't had that,
Yeah.
then there could be an argument that they haven't reached puberty
No,
yet.
I've just shown you primary amenorrhea.
Yeah, but this is also that's your but like I said, when it comes to these texts,
Yeah.
I've shown you in the Tafsir that it says young age. That's why they didn't have. Al-Jalalain literally says because of their young age, they haven't reached puberty yet. They haven't been able to menstruate yet
Yeah, but young-
because of their young age.
Young doesn't mean
I'll be honest with you. Bob. It can't get any clearer than that.
Okay.
Now, I don't
I
know.
disagree.
I'm being. I think like that evidence as well. Even within the Tafsir, if you can't agree with that, and this is why we see it practiced today. Muslims are practicing this stuff today.
no.
They are. I've read
wait,
stories.
wait,
Hold on a
wait.
second.
In
I've
all-
read stories.
In all Muslim countries, the age of consent is 14 years old above.
I've seen stories.
Yeah, but that's people
I've
breaking
seen
the law.
videos.
That's people breaking
What
the law.
law?
The law of the age of consent in the country. Like in
But-
Saudi,
but-
do you know what's the age of consent in Saudi Arabia?
No.
18. That's even higher than the UK.
Yeah.
2 years higher than the UK.
Yeah. I hear what you're
And in
saying.
my country, where majority Muslims, the age of consent is 18.
Yeah.
In Turkey, 18. In even like Oman, on Gulf countries, sometimes it's 21 years old. So I forgot to show you because we're talking about the Prophet's marriage, Aisha, that's why I concentrated. Yeah, thank you. That's why I concentrated on that.
Yeah.
But if you believe we are to marry prepubescent girls, then I will show you why I disagree with you.
Okay.
And I will show you why we don't have to marry 9-year-old girls or 12 or 13 anymore. Next time you want, I'll show you because today we concentrate on the Prophet's marriage, Aisha. But next time, I'll show you why Muslims are not allowed to marry 9-year-old girls, 12, 14. As I said, I'll repeat again. In the 21st century, I am against anyone that marries 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old girls or 14, 15. I believe 18 years old is the right age. My reason for that is because people live longer now. There's education systems around.
Okay.
Let them educate themselves. Let them grow. Let them learn. Let them experience life. No need to rush like back in the day. Back in the day, it was happening for the life expectancy was low. That's why I think that's the difference.
Okay.
But today, I'm with you. I condemn anyone marries a 9-year-old girl. I'm against it. In fact, I think it's sick. It's disgusting. In the 24th century.
Yeah.
Okay. So please, I don't want you to think I'm one of those people that believe that. No. Every time I debate somebody, I have to say this, Tim, for people to know where I stand. Because there are people watching this that will be thinking that I'm saying it's okay.
No,
to
I
do
appreciate
today.
it. That's why I spoke to you about this today because I saw you on Lubna's live. Shout out to Lubna, by the way. And I saw what you said about it. That's why I wanted to discuss with you. And I've had a good discussion.
Yes, I appreciate that.
I respect you.
I appreciate that you approached me for me to clarify my position.
Yeah.
So please don't think I'm one of those Muslims that believe marrying 9-year-old girls is okay. No, I'm against it.
Yeah, I think the text, the hadiths, the tafsir
it doesn't
that
say
I've brought to your attention today
Yeah.
definitely says that. I think the Quranic verse definitely teaches that. But it seems like you're not going to agree with my position.
I disagree.
Right, and what's important right now is that you don't accept that
because it's not there, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing, but I think historically your religion does teach and still teaches the marrying and consummating of marriage with prepubescent children.
No, Islam doesn't teach us marrying prepubescent girls. Islam is against it. I've shown Timothy the hadith and the Quran, and for some reason he doesn't want to accept it, but that's his choice. Islam is against marrying prepubescent girls. Anyone does it is an evil person. I condemn them.
Yeah. God bless you. Really nice talking to you. Next time we'll talk about the Bible, yeah?
Take care, yes.
God bless you.
Take care, man.
Really nice.
Wonderful discussion.
Yeah?
If you want, we can also do online because I live far away, you see.
Do it here. It's nicer.
But I live far away.
Just do it here. But something to look forward to then.
Yeah, okay.
All right, God bless you.
I might come next week or 2 weeks later.
Okay.
Do you come here every...
I come here often. If you see me, you see me.
Inshallah.
Yeah?
Inshallah.
God bless you. Take care, yeah?
Take care, man. Good discussion.
Good discussion. Just final thoughts, guys. So you heard it there yourself. Had a discussion with Bob. Really nice guy, very friendly guy. Always like talking to him. But the evidence was there, guys. It's shown in the hadiths, I've shown in the tafsir, I've shown in the Quran that the marrying of... don't worry about it, it's fine. The marrying and consummating of the marriage of prepubescent children is there. It's something that Muhammad did. I hope you guys were able to see that in the discussion. Anyway, God bless you guys. I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.